let's start the class. Okay, so I hope you were clarifying your doubts. Okay, so from ma'am, uh, it's been a wonderful day. Okay, so it's a bright sunny day. I hope you had a great day. Okay, and let's get started. Let's get started. Let me see if somebody has sent some message. Okay, Saket, I've answered to your question. Okay, next, Samruddhi. Yes, good evening. Yes, good evening. Aryan, today we will do this nuclear membrane. Don't worry. Okay, so today we'll be starting the nucleus topic. Okay, in the nucleus topic, we have this nuclear membrane. While doing the topic, we will learn about nuclear membrane. Okay, fine. And yes, good evening, Dia, everyone. Okay, Suhani, yes, good evening. So, good evening, everyone. Okay, Sneha, Shravana, Aditya, everyone, good evening. Okay, so fantastic evening. And let's get started. Okay, let's get started with today's class. Okay, Ahish is asking, what did you do yesterday and day before yesterday? Every day I'm taking class only, man. Okay, so it's been a hectic schedule. So we have all this crash courses for all this JE exam is there, NEET exam is there, CET exam is there next month. And if you know, this month, June 25, 10th standard SSLC, state syllabus, their exam is also there. So we are having this crash courses, like even Mohit sir is taking classes and some of the classes I am taking. So it's kind of in a hectic schedule. Okay, but never mind. We love this. Okay, cool. So without much delay, we'll just start. And everyone else, Siddharth, Sanjana, everybody. So good evening, good evening. Malvika, everyone, good evening. Okay, and yes, so today we'll be doing the topic called nucleus. Okay, and we'll also look into cytoplasm. And tomorrow we'll start cell organelles. Okay, fine. So let's start today's class with something that we were discussing yesterday. Okay, that is the tallest tree. The tallest tree. So you guys sent me some names. All of you, most of you sent me the names and all. So today we'll see first the tallest tree. Okay, so that will be our organism of the day. Okay, so organism of the day. We'll start with tallest tree. Okay, this tree has been given a name. Okay, it's called Hyperion. Okay, Hyperion. We start with Hyperion. Then we continue the topic. Okay, fine. So let us see this tree, this amazing tree, which is considered as the tallest tree in the world. Okay, so which has almost a height of 380 feet. Okay, so imagine how tall this tree is. And let's see this video, and then we'll continue the class. You realize that this tree is special. Okay, this tree is special. So as you can see the comparison, okay, you can clearly see that our tree, Hyperion tree, is much more taller than the Statue of Liberty, and that is fantastic. Okay, so this tree pumps water right from its roots till the top. Okay, because of the pressure difference that is generating. Okay, and also the diffusion also plays a role. A simple process. Look at the result. Each and every part of this tree is able to obtain water. Okay, so Sri Krishna is asking, is it bigger than Burj Khalifa? No, no, no. Astilla. No, no, no. Not like taller than Burj Khalifa. Burj Khalifa is too tall. Okay, fine. So anyways, so we'll get started, and all the other questions. Okay, so we'll just take it later. And everyone else, so who wish good evening. So good evening, everyone. Sorry if I missed out any of your names. Okay, and let's start today's class real quick. And I have something to show you also, a little surprise, which I'm starting in 10th standard. So I thought I should also do it for 9th standard people. So you guys have been nice. And I realized that I have like less time with you people. So I want to make the most of it. Okay, so I'm starting some episodes. Okay, so from today, and I'll let you know. Okay, I'll let you know. Usually I do it for the real classes. Okay, which I take it in center. But since now real classes are not happening, you have just online classes, so I thought why not do it in the online class also. Okay, and what is that? Okay, and what will be those special episodes? I'll tell you later. Okay, now let us start the class. Yes, so 9th standard. Yesterday So we were doing about this topic called cell wall. We completed cell wall, some basic information. So all these extra things, do not worry. You will again learn in 11th standard biology for sure. Okay, so now if you remember these basics, that is more than sufficient. So today we will start the next topic, that is nucleus. Okay, so another important part of the cell, that is nucleus. Okay, so first I'll write some points. Okay, if you remember these points, that is more than sufficient. Okay, so hang on, I will explain at the end. Okay, so the first important point, that is this: nucleus is important part of the cell. So how important is this? This is its major function. It plays a crucial role. It plays a crucial role in cell reproduction. We also call that as cell division. Okay, and another important thing, it regulates or controls. It regulates or controls the activities of the cell. So basically consider nucleus as the head of the family. Okay. For example, in your home, or your dad or mom might be taking majority of the decisions. Okay. So in the same way, the nucleus is head of the family, or consider head of the department. Okay. Head of the department. Head of the department. Like in your school, your principal ma'am or principal sir is taking all the important decisions. And nucleus is that principal in the cell. Okay, so in the cell, the nucleus plays that very important role. Okay, fine. So next thing, so let us see what it contains and all that. Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to write it in a different color pen. Yes. So this nucleus has this very important part, that is chromosomes. Okay, it contains chromosomes. Contains chromosomes. But what exactly is this chromosomes? Okay, and why is it important? So this chromosome is very, very important. If you like all this DNA, genes and inheritance and all that, then you should also like chromosome. Okay, so these chromosomes, so they are special. So these chromosomes have information about the inheritance features. So some of you may have your eyes, which resembles that of your grandfather. Some of you have your nose just like your father, or just like your mother. Your lips is just like your mother, or whatever body parts. I don't know. Okay, so that is all because of the inheritance. Okay, which is inherited from your parents. Okay, so these chromosomes have that information, inheritance features. Okay, so I'm just writing in terms of keywords and points. Okay, in the exam you make it as a proper sentence and write. Okay, inheritance features. Okay, these chromosomes have these inheritance features in the form of DNA. The form of DNA, I hope all of you know the full form. So deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, so we'll also see more about DNA. Okay, it's not given in your textbook in detail, but we'll see the structure and all that in detail so that you have an idea. Okay, extra knowledge. Fine. So this chromosomes has all the information regarding the inheritance, okay, from your parents, and in the form of this DNA. Okay, so the next important thing you got to know is this: the chromosomes are actually composed of DNA and protein. Okay, all these protein are nitrogen related compounds in the form of amino acids. Okay, so when you learn organic chemistry, you will learn about amino acids and everything in detail. Okay, so now do not take tension. You are just started to explore science. 9th standard is just a first step. Okay, you just please wait. Once you come to 10th, 11th and 12th, you have a full clarity. Okay, So now these are just basic things. You try to remember this. Okay, in detail you will learn later. Okay, so chromosomes are composed of DNA and proteins. So proteins are your nitrogen compounds. Okay, in the form of amino acids. Fine. So next, one more last point I'll write, then I'll again explain. Okay. So the next important thing, these DNA molecules contains all the necessary information, for constructing and organizing the cell. Okay, so everything regarding the cell, the full jataka or kundali of the cell is there in the DNA. Okay, so the DNA has all the information about everything of the cell. Okay, everything about the cell, that information is present in these DNA molecules. Okay, which will be useful. Okay, once you have this reproduction or the cell division, where the reconstruction and organizing of the cell will be useful. Okay, fine. So these are some of the points. I'll again start from the beginning. I'll explain from the beginning. So the topic today's topic, nucleus. So nucleus is one of the most important part of the cell. Okay, if you actually see, it is the important part of the cell. Okay, because it is the head of the department. Okay, or it is considered as the most important part of the cell. Okay, so why it is important part of the cell? Because it completely controls or regulates all the activities of the cell, all the major activities of the cell, and it also plays an important role during cell reproduction, or you call it a cell division. Okay, so what is there in this nucleus? The nucleus has a special component called chromosomes. Okay, these chromosomes are the inheritance features. They have information of the inheritance, the characteristics which will be inherited from the parent cell. Okay, from the parent cell. Okay, and it also has this DNA. Okay, that is deoxyribonucleic acid. And these chromosomes are majorly composed of DNA and proteins. Important, I'll put a box. And what is the role of DNA? Okay, the DNA molecules help in reconstructing and organizing the cell because it has all the information. Okay, in the type of double helix structure. How is the structure? I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to show you just a couple of minutes. Okay, I'll write some 2 more points and then I'll show you the entire video only. Okay, how your chromosomes has this DNA structures and everything. It's like very exciting, very interesting. Okay, if you like it, then I'm pretty sure you will love it. Okay, so the next few points, so I'll just write some another couple of points and then we look into the structure or the video part. So when you're learning about DNA, you'll definitely come across this term called genes. Okay, or your parents might be telling that you have all the genes of your grandfather who was an excellent academician or an excellent sports player or something. Okay, you might have heard genes somewhere, movies or something. So these genes are the functional. These genes are the functional segments of the DNA. Okay, so the genes are nothing but the functional segments of the DNA. So DNA is pretty huge. Okay, I'll show you, you'll be very surprised. Okay, so genes are just some of the parts, some of the functional segments or some of the functional parts of the DNA. Okay, and the next important thing you need to know this. Okay, I'm changing the color of my pen because this is another subtopic kind of thing. Okay, so before cell division, DNA is present. DNA is present in the form of chromatin, in the form of chromatin material. What is this chromatin material? I'm going to write it here. These chromatin material are the entangled mass of thread-like structures, tiny thread-like structures. Those are our chromatin. Okay, so before the cell division, all this DNA are just entangled among itself in the form of this chromatin material. Okay, but just before, once the cell is ready for the cell division, then the DNA shows its role. Okay, then the DNA becomes hero. Okay, so I'm going to write the next point. The next point, when the cell is ready, when the cell is ready for the cell division, cell is ready for its division. Okay, that is nothing but reproduction. Okay, so that's nothing but its reproduction itself. I'm going to write it here. When a cell is ready for its reproduction or division, then magic happens. Okay, what is that? The DNA, or the chromatin material will get organized. Okay, will get organized into chromosomes. Okay, when it is required, only that time. Okay, when it is required, only that time, all these thread-like structures will again rewind itself and will assemble in the form of the chromosomes. Okay, so do not worry, I will show you the video. Once you look at the video, you will understand. Okay, first I will show you the pictures. Okay, first I will show you the pictures. Okay, the first picture is your DNA. Okay, so now all of you might have seen such pictures. Okay, you have, this structure is called double helix. Okay, this structure is called double helix structure. Okay, and all these DNAs are actually in this double helix structures. Okay, as you can see here, there are a lot of components. Okay, there are a lot of components which are storing the information. Okay, which are storing what information? The inheritance information. Okay, what characteristics or traits will be passed on from the parents to the child, parents to the new child. Okay, double helix is the name of this structure. Ivaga, what is triangle? Triangle is this shape, alva. What is rectangle? Rectangle is this shape. In the same way, double helix is the name of the structure. Okay, name of the structure. This structure that you see here, this is called double helix structure. Okay, double helix structure. And this structure is pretty complex because they have a lot of sub-linkages and a lot of sub-components, which is made up of so many types of molecules which hold those information. Okay, which hold those information. Okay, so yes, single helix is different. Okay, you just have only one of the pair, only one of the pair, you call it as single helix. When you have both of them, okay, the pair of single helix structures, okay, which is kind of complementing each other. You see, if I have only the blue color thing, I call it as just a single helix structure. If I have both this blue and red color together, okay, you call that as a double helix structure. Okay, don't worry, as I've told, nothing of this will be asked in the exam. 9th standard bacha, nothing is asked. Okay, they'll just ask you direct questions. Write a short note on nucleus, 2 marks. You write whatever you want. Okay, you write whatever you want. They just ask about simple basic things. You need not take tension. Okay, and the important part, okay, that you got to understand here is that all this, okay, all these is happening inside the nucleus. Okay, all this is happening inside the nucleus, and there is something called chromatin. Okay, so before the cell division, your chromosomes, your DNA, okay, so they are all like this. Okay, so they're all like this. Okay, so in the form of threads. You see here chromatin. Okay, chromatin. So it will be like that. And before the cell division, they will just reorganize themselves in the form of chromosomes. Okay, the form of chromosome. The shape that you see, that is your chromosome. Okay, so if you understood till here, you can click on yes. Don't worry, I'll show you the video. Don't worry, I'll show you the video. Okay, if you understood till here, just click on yes. Simple. Whatever notes that we wrote till that much. Okay, till that much. If you understood, you can click on yes. Okay, fine. So another important thing that you got to know is that everything has its own boundary. All this is happening inside the nucleus, and the nucleus also has its own membrane. Okay, that is called as the nuclear membrane. Okay, I'm going to write it here. Note. What is this note? Nucleus has a double layer, membrane called as nuclear membrane. Wait, I'll just rub and write. Double layer membrane called as nuclear membrane. That's all. Okay, because all of this need not get mixed with the other components of the cell. Okay, this is all very important and very private. Okay, it shouldn't get mixed with other cell components. So hence it has its own boundary. It has its own membrane. Nucleus has its own membrane. Double layer, not single, double layer membrane. Okay, you see, double, important. Okay, so that is called as your nuclear membrane. Okay, fine. So now I don't want you to imagine much. I will just show you the video so that you will understand what exactly is happening inside the nucleus by these chromosomes. How is this chromosomes rearranging themselves and all that?
Here is a cell, the basic unit of all living tissue.
What is happening inside the cell? Okay, so it is much more complex than what you think, but trust me, nothing of that will be asked in your exam. Okay, in your exam, the question that will be asked is write a short note on nucleus. Okay, and they will expect you to know this important thing. Okay, that I'm going to write it down now. So that is prokaryote cell and eukaryote cell. Okay, prokaryote cell and eukaryote cell. That is what is important for 9th standard level. Okay, don't take tension. All of this again you will learn in your 11th standard. Okay, so just as for extra knowledge, so I'm going to tell you some few terms. Just keep in your mind, don't take tension. Just keep in your mind that there are two types of cell divisions. One is called as mitosis, another is called as meiosis. Just remember, what is mitosis, what is meiosis? Nobody will ask. Even in 11th standard exam also, they will not tell in detail. They will just tell you the basics. Okay, so now you just remember the term. That's all. Mitosis and meiosis. This is how the cell will reproduce. The cell will reproduce in these two types, mitosis and meiosis. That's the name of the process. Okay, so now what will come in the exam? This will come in the exam. This is what they will pakka ask in 9th standard. Okay, exam. What will come in the exam? This types of cell. The cell can be either prokaryote prokaryotic cell, the prokaryotic cell, or the cell can be eukaryotic cell. Okay, eukaryotic cell. Okay, so this is exam. I have written here, no exam. Pakka they will ask this you must to know, no compromise. Okay, so the difference between prokaryote cell and eukaryote cell, I'm going to write in terms of points. Okay, in terms of points, the difference between prokaryote cell and eukaryotic cell. So the first thing, membranes are absent. Okay, so prokaryotic cell, they do not have membranes. What membranes am I talking about? I'm talking about nuclear membrane and cell organelle membrane. Okay, these two are absent. Plasma membrane is there. Okay, that should be there for everybody. Okay, so the nuclear membrane and the cell organelle membrane, they are absent. Okay, so here all membranes are present. All membranes are present. Okay, next point. So we will write at least 5 to 6 points so that in the exam you will remember some of them. Okay, because in the exam they'll ask this for 2 marks. Okay, for difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell, you should know. Important, 2 marks. Write it here, 2 marks. Okay, the next thing, the nuclear region is poorly defined. The nuclear region is poorly defined due to absence of the nuclear membrane. As I said here, it doesn't have a membrane. So what happens? All these chromosomes and everything which is the inside the nucleus, they obviously get mixed up with other components of the cell. Okay, because they do not have a boundary, they don't have a protection. Okay, so that is why the nuclear region is poorly defined due to absence of the nuclear membrane. Okay, but in the eukaryote, that's not the case. The nuclear region is well defined and nuclear membrane is present. Okay, nuclear membrane is present. All the eukaryotic cells are little complex. Okay, prokaryotic cells are very simple and primitive cells. Okay, so the next point, the important point, you call this as nucleoids. Okay, you call this as nucleoids because they do not have a well-defined nucleus. Okay, because the nucleus and the components of the nucleus are not properly structured. Okay, because nuclear membrane illa, they are just mixed up with other components of the cell. Okay, so that is why instead of nucleus they have nucleoids. Okay, they have nucleoids are present. So illy nucleus is present. Okay, so what are these nucleoids? I'm going to write this nucleoids. If they ask definition of nucleoids, you should write this. Nucleoids is undefined nuclear region containing only nucleic acids. Okay, it doesn't have a nucleus. Instead of nucleus, you should write nucleoids. Okay, nucleoids. Okay, why? Because the membrane is absent. Okay, fine. So the next important point, membrane based cell organelles are absent. Okay, That means none of the component inside this prokaryotic cell has a membrane. They do not have their boundary at all. Okay, so everybody is just completely messed up. Okay, inside the nucleus, everybody is just mixed up. Okay, they do not have a boundary or they do not have a membrane of their own. Okay, whereas in the eukaryotic cell, every component of the cell has its own boundary, it has its own membrane. Okay, just basically consider like this. Prokaryotic cell is like a joint family. Everybody sleeps on the floor in the hall. They don't have separate rooms. Eukaryotic cell, every single person has a separate room. Brother separate room, okay, sister separate room, cousin brother separate room, father separate room, mother separate, everybody has a separate room. Okay, consider like that. Consider like that. So in eukaryotic cell, membrane, in eukaryotic cell, I'm going to write membrane based cell organelles. Membrane based cell organelles are present. Okay, membrane based cell organelles are present. Okay, so that is the main point. All the eukaryotic cells have their own membranes. Okay, they have their own membranes, whether it is nuclear membrane or cell organelle membrane. Whereas all the components of prokaryotic cell, illa. Okay, the membrane is not there. Only membrane that they have is the cell membrane or plasma membrane. Okay, they have only cell membrane and or the plasma membrane. Apart from that, they do not have anything. Okay, so if you understood till here, click on yes. If you understood till here, click on yes. So I'm going to write it here just as an analogy. Okay, just as an analogy, the form of a note. Write it down. Note: prokaryotic cell is like joint family with no separate rooms for family members. Okay, everybody sleeps on the floor and everybody sleeps in the hall. Okay, that is your prokaryotes. Okay, you don't write this in exam. Okay, this is for your understanding purpose. Don't write this in exam. Crazy people, they won't give marks. Okay, this is for your understanding. Just for understanding. Just for understanding purpose. Example. Okay, so eukaryotic cell is like family members with separate rooms. Family members with separate exclusive rooms. Okay, that's all. Everybody is separate in eukaryotic cell. Everybody has their own room. They will not get mixed up with anybody else. Whereas in prokaryotic cell, nothing. Everybody together, full maja. Okay, so they're all together. They don't have any separate rooms. They don't have any membranes. None of them have any membranes. So everybody is together. This is entangled, messed up. Okay, and every time you got to know the example. It's important that you know the example. So examples. So your bacteria fall under the category of prokaryotic cell. Okay, you want a specific example? Cyanobacteria. Okay, so your cyanobacteria also called as blue-green algae. Okay, so this cyanobacteria is an prokaryotic cell. So whereas example of eukaryotic cell is all your plants, animals, everything. Okay, so all these complex structures, they are all eukaryotic cell. Okay, all these primitive organisms, this basic simple organisms like bacteria and all, they belong to prokaryotic cell. Okay, they belong to prokaryotic cell. If you understood till here, click on S. Okay, so please click on S if you understood till here. Okay, this comes in exam, man, 1000%. Not even 100, 1000%. I'm telling you, you should know prokaryotes and eukaryotes. This is the most important subtopic under the main topic nucleus. Okay, so I'm gonna tell again. You see here, simple, easy. I have made columns. Okay, I have explained in the types of points. So prokaryotes, most important point, membranes illa. Okay, membranes are absent. Prokaryotes has only one membrane, that is cell membrane. It has only cell membrane. Apart from that, it do not has any other membrane. Okay, eukaryotes, all the membranes are present. Okay, all the membranes are present. Okay, everything is properly well defined. Okay, eukaryote is a complex structure. Prokaryotic cell is a primitive structure, very simple structure. Okay, and all these points have written, so please go through these points. Okay, it's more than sufficient. In the exam, 2 marks. They will just ask this for 2 marks, and if you at least write minimum 3 points, it's more than sufficient. 3 or 4 points, that is sufficient. Okay, 3 or 4 points, that is more than sufficient. Okay, and the important thing, example, do not forget example. Okay, do not forget example. Okay, cool. So this was all about the cell. Okay, the nucleus of the cell. This is all about the nucleus of the cell. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you this wonderful video. Okay, wonderful video of the biggest difference between the bacteria and the virus. Okay, so I just forgot to mention one more point. So I will just write here one more point. Viruses lack any membranes. Viruses do not have any membranes at all. But viruses are not prokaryotes because we do not consider viruses as living. But viruses are neither living nor non-living. They do not show any characteristics of the living organisms which it is supposed to show. Only it can behave like a living once it is inside the host. Okay, and what is the big difference between this cell of this virus and the cell of the bacteria? Okay, how are they different from each other? So maybe after seeing this video, you'll get an idea.
देखिए शुभ मंगल ज्यादा सावधान सिर्फ Amazon Prime Video पर।
Into your lungs is sneaky. You're in line at the grocery store when, someone sneezes on you. The cold virus is sucked inside your lungs and lands on a cell on your airway lining. Every living thing on Earth is made of cells, from the smallest one-celled bacteria to the giant blue whale, to you. Each cell in your body is surrounded by a cell membrane, a thick, flexible layer made of fats and proteins that surrounds and protects the inner components. It's semi-permeable, meaning that it lets some things pass in and out, but blocks others. The cell membrane is covered with tiny projections. They all have functions, like helping cells adhere to their neighbors or binding to nutrients the cell will need. Animal and plant cells have cell membranes, only plant cells have a cell wall, which is made of rigid cellulose that gives the plant structure. The virus that was sneezed into your lungs is sneaky. Pretending to be a friend, it attaches to a projection on the cell membrane, and the cell brings it through the cell membrane and inside. When the virus gets through, the cell recognizes its mistake. An enemy is inside. Special enzymes arrive at the scene and chop the virus to pieces. They then send one of the pieces back through the cell membrane, where the cell displays it to warn neighboring cells about the invader. A nearby cell sees the warning and immediately goes into action. It needs to make antibodies, proteins that will attack and kill the invading virus. This process starts in the nucleus. The nucleus contains our DNA, the blueprint that tells our cells how to make everything our bodies need to function. A certain section of our DNA contains instructions that tell our cells how to make antibodies. Enzymes in the nucleus find the right section of DNA, then create a copy of these instructions called messenger RNA. The messenger RNA leaves the nucleus to carry out its orders. The messenger RNA travels to a ribosome. There can be as many as 10 million ribosomes in a human cell, all studded along a ribbon-like structure called the endoplasmic reticulum. This ribosome reads the instructions from the nucleus. It takes amino acids and links them together one by one, creating an antibody protein that will go fight the virus. But before it can do that, the antibody needs to leave the cell. The antibody heads to the Golgi apparatus. Here, it's packed up for delivery outside the cell, enclosed in a bubble made of the same material as the cell membrane. The Golgi apparatus also gives the antibody directions, telling it how to get to the edge of the cell. When it gets there, the bubble surrounding the antibody fuses to the cell membrane. The cell ejects the antibody, and it heads out to track down the virus. The leftover bubble will be broken down by the cell's lysosomes, and its pieces recycled over and over again. Where did the cell get the energy to do all this? That's the role of the mitochondria. To make energy, the mitochondria takes oxygen, this is the only reason we breathe it, and adds electrons from the food we eat to make water molecules. That process also creates a high-energy molecule called ATP, which the cell uses to power all of its parts. Plant cells make energy a different way. They have chloroplasts that combine carbon dioxide and water with light energy from the sun to create oxygen and sugar, a form of chemical energy. All the parts of a cell have to work together to keep things running smoothly. And all the cells of your body have to work together to keep you running smoothly. That's a whole lot of cells. Scientists think there are about 37 trillion of them.
Okay, cool. Cytoplasm class is over. Okay, we will be having, yes, the quiz part, the episode that I'm telling. So all that I will include. Okay, so I'll just do cytoplasm and then we'll go for the quiz. Okay, I'll go for the quiz. So I hope this is clear regarding prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, so just make sure that you read and practice that. Okay, so the next topic that we have, very simple topic, that is cytoplasm. Okay, that is cytoplasm. So if you carefully observe the cell has some fluid content in it. Okay, I'll show you the cell diagram. So you might have, learned about the cell in 8th standard, yeah, before that also. So if you look at the diagram of the cell, whether it is plant cell or animal cell or whatever, okay, so you can clearly see that. So inside the cell, there's something called cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm. I hope you can see here. Okay, cytoplasm. Okay, you can see at the bottom, cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is the fluid content, okay, which is present in the cell. Okay, the fluid content present in the cell, we call it as cytoplasm. Okay, so I'll just quickly write that. And it also plays an important role in the cell. So cytoplasm is the fluid content present in the cell. So fluid content present in the cell. So what is its important function? Why is cytoplasm required? Its important function is this. It is the home to all those special cell organelles that you just saw. Okay, it contains the specialized cell organelles which perform specific functions, which perform specific functions. That's all. Okay, this is the most important job of cytoplasm. Okay, this cytoplasm is the fluid content present in the cell, in simple words, and it has all the cell organelles that you just saw, okay, in the video. All those ribosomes, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, and everything is present in the cytoplasm part. Okay, and this cytoplasm is the home. It is the home to all the specialized cell organelles. Okay, and what are the cell organelles? What is the role that they play? Why is it important? Next class. Okay, so we'll see about this in the next class. Okay, so quickly, I'm going to show from the top. So if you missed out on any of the slide or the notes, please take it down. Okay, so I've made you write in some simple words, simple points, easy things. So just read this once, twice. Okay, you will understand everything. Okay, you'll understand everything. If you did not understand anything, so let me know. Okay, let me know or let madam know. Okay, we'll get it clarified. Okay, so today we learned about nucleus. We learned about nucleus. We got to know more information about chromosomes. Chromosomes which are made up of DNA and proteins. Okay, and the next important thing is the types of cell, that is you're gonna have prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. What is the major difference between them? So all these differences we wrote. Remember the examples, very important. And next, cytoplasm, aste. Okay, so this much we learned in today's class. If you understood this much, you can click on S. But I sincerely suggest after the class, just one time you sit and read my notes, you will definitely understand everything. Okay, that is my promise. You just have to sit and read it once more with a cool, peaceful mind. You will understand everything. Okay, if you did not understand, let me know, because I always want to make things simple and give it you in such a way that it is easy for you to grasp and understand. Okay, cool. So with this idea, so let us see how many of you have understood the topic. So let's go for the quiz. So on your screen now, I'm going to share the game pin. Okay, so please enter this game pin and join the quiz. Okay, so enter this game pin and join the quiz. Okay, and this is your game pin. So I'm going to share the screen. On your screen now, you will see the game pin. Okay, so please real quick enter this fast, and we're going to see the quiz. Okay, let us see who will be the winner of today's quiz. Okay, yes, this is the number. I've already preloaded the quiz. The quiz is based on nucleus. Okay, the quiz is based on the topic nucleus and what we learned in yesterday's class. Ashray, simple, easy quiz. Okay, so just revise the notes. Okay, so till everybody joins the quiz, okay, you can just please quickly revise the notes. And today's quiz is going to be a little different. Okay, so fast. Okay, little quick, man. Okay, because running out of time, I want to tell you that episode. Okay, so those who did not join, so please join fast. So another 10 seconds, and I'm going to start the quiz. So on your screen now, you will see the first question. Okay, so others who couldn't join, so please join quick. So first question on your screen. Okay, first question. Okay, yes. So read the question and answer carefully. The outermost covering of a plant cell. The outermost covering of a plant cell. What do you think is the outermost covering of the plant cell? So read carefully. Tricky question. Tricky question. Read carefully. Okay, and time up, time up, time up. So yes, very good. The plant cell, along with the cell membrane or plasma membrane, it has this additional covering called cell wall. Okay, which we did in yesterday's class, if you remember. Okay, good. 43 students got it correct. So very nice. Yes was quickest to answer. So nice. Second question, true or false? Bacteria has cell wall. Bacteria has cell wall. True or false? Bacteria has cell wall. True or false? Okay, so last 10 seconds. Okay, so bacteria indeed has cell wall. Yesterday we wrote in the notes, no. Cell wall is present in plants. Cell wall is present in fungi. Cell wall is present in bacteria. I also gave you an example. Okay, gram positive, gram negative bacteria. The bacteria cell wall is made up of peptoglycan, also called as murin. Why? How can you make this mistake? Only 21 students got it correct. Please read the notes. Okay, now Pranamya is leading the scoreboard. Next question. You have to write the answer. Chromosomes are composed of dash. Okay, it is composed of two things. You write any one. Okay, it is composed of two things. You write any one. Let us see who will get this correct. You have to type the answer. We have done this in today's class. Okay, I've done this in today's class. Chromosomes are composed of dash. Write any one. Write any one. Don't do overaction. If you write both, it may not consider it as a valid answer. Write any one. Write any one. Okay. And time up. And time up. So let us see what are the answers that were written. Okay, chromosomes are composed of DNA and proteins. If you write any one, you will get full points. Okay, very nice, very nice. So now Saket is leading the scoreboard. Fantastic. So last question, last question. Prokaryotes have nuclear membrane. True or false? Prokaryotes have nuclear membrane. True or false? You remember the table that we discussed today? Okay, prokaryotes versus eukaryotes. You remember, you'll get the answer. Prokaryotes have cell membrane. Yes or no? And time up. Time up. Okay. Yes, very good. 38 students got it correct. Prokaryotes do not have any membranes at all. That is why it is called prokaryotes. I told no. Joint family without any room. Everybody sleeping on the floor. No separate rooms. No separate members. Okay, they do not have any membranes at all. Okay, fine. So anyways, a good attempt. So let us see the winners of today's quiz. So at third position, we have Sai. I don't, you should write the full name. So second position, we have Aryan. And today's winner of the quiz is Saket. Okay, so congratulations. Congratulations to all of you. So fourth position, Priyanka. Fifth position, Yash. Okay, so a hearty congratulations to all of you. Others also keep trying. Okay, you can definitely be in the top 5 one or the other day. Okay, so very nice, fantastic. So with this, okay, so technically I am ending the class. Okay, if you want to have a break or something, you can have a break. You can have a break. The class is over. The class is over. If you want to have a break, you can have a break.